Comedy is like a gateway for therapy if you don't want to go to therapy. I wrote the ideas. I knew there was something there. It was like, if you can make this shit funny, like I would hope that would be some of my best material. And I don't know if it is, but it's be like, this is something that happened. It's funny. I'm okay with it. We can all laugh at it. My name is Katie Boyle. I'm from Ireland. I've been in JFL 2023, Tape the Don't Tell set. My album was #1 for like a week, so I feel like that's pretty cool in the charts.
Shots in front of here. Okay, you stand there. You said it today and you said it on your podcast. You like your life.
Yeah.
Was that an always thing?
No. Irish people, they hate to let other people be uncomfortable. So like, you don't want to talk about your problems, because then if you say anything, like if someone's like, oh, how does your mother feel about you doing stand-up? And I'm like, well, I don't talk to her. And they're like, ugh. And now I'm put the emotional labor on me to be like, no, but it's fine. And then they're looking at me, well, it's fine. Why wouldn't you talk to your mother? So then I have to justify it. I'm like, well, she was really violent and abusive and emotionally abusive. And they're like, oh, Jesus. And then I'm like, but I'm fine because I love my life now. I feel like that's why Irish people don't like to talk about their problems, because there's also like, they don't want to make people uncomfortable. And that's why therapy is so great. So like, I feel like doing stand-up, you're like, talking about vulnerable stuff, so then you're like feeling the kind of trauma of it again, and then you're like, oh shit, I should really figure this out in therapy, just because it's really affecting you, because you're reliving it a bit. It's like you're talking to 50 strangers. Why not just pay one person?
I know this because if my father wrote a children's bedtime story, it would start with, well, the evil queen said she was on the pill. She was very violent, and I'm going to tell a dark story, but we'll go on this journey together.
Making jokes about it, which is very Irish. Irish people make jokes about it. They'll be like, you know, well, oh, my dad tried to kill me, but you know, we had a great day at the cinema or whatever. You're like, what? A lot of those jokes I wrote in the first year of comedy, I just couldn't perform them. I mean, like, I wrote the ideas. I knew there was something there. It was like, if you can make this shit funny, like I would hope that would be some of my best material. And I don't know if it is, but it's be like, this is something that happened. It's funny. I'm okay with it. We can all laugh at it.
First album, right?
Yeah.
How'd that feel?
That's good. Just glad for it to be done. We recorded it a year ago, or over a year ago.
Name of the album?
It's called I'll Do It Myself, because that's what Irish parents say when they ask you to do something and you do it apparently wrong every time. So they're like, oh, I'll just do it myself. And because I didn't have a host or opener, I hosted it myself. So there's a lot of crowd work up top, and then I did an hour material and a Q&A in the end. So that's why I said I'll do it myself, because I did a lot of it myself. I think stand-up made me chiller and just give less fucks, because like people are always like, oh, like that's crazy, you get up for the people. But it's like when you go dancing and not drinking for the first time, it's hard, but then after a couple of times it's easier, and it's the same with stand-up. But I also think like if you bomb or you get heckled or you are just performing in front of an audience, it just makes you like thicker skin for other situations where you're kind of like, I don't give a fuck anymore. And then it gives a lot of dopamine, which I feel like for me is really good. I need the adrenaline. Like I feel like I'd be like crawling on walls. Like I would just have all this, like I felt like when I was younger I had all this like weird energy, which was also like, it was like anxiety, loads of anxiety, hyper energy, but didn't know where to focus it. It wasn't like I didn't want to play sports, or I don't like running, but like just feeling like I just had all this energy and like giddy and like nearly interrupting people when I was talking because I just had to get all this stuff out. And I feel like stand-up helped all of that, because like now I don't feel the need to be, I don't know, it just made me relaxed, if that makes sense. I feel like it's just like been like a really good like medicine because now I don't need to do it every night either, and I don't have that crazy energy, but I still do when if I don't do it for 2 nights and on the 3rd night I get up, I'm like, oh, this makes me feel so good. It's just, yeah.
There's got to be this like wild level of self-confidence that comes out of creating your own opportunities. You look back and say, oh wow, look at what I've done in 9 years, or do you not want to look back because you don't want to freak yourself out?
Like I'll look at it and be like, oh, this is pretty good.
Was so Irish.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
I think the best self-care thing that I learned when it comes to like that, I think it's really important to look at what you've done and be appreciative of it. And a lot of comics here are so there's an attitude of like, oh, but I don't have Netflix, and it's like, you just did Comedy Central, what do you go? Or like, oh, the seller only books me once a week, and it's like, yeah, but they're booking you once a week. And when I saw that coming up, like older comics talking like that, I was like, I don't want ever, because I just love what we do so much that I don't want it to be a kind of like using comedy to cut myself type of thing, which I feel like a lot of people do. I'd say just be nice to yourself. That's what my stepmom used to always say to me, because People are very hard to themselves. And I also like, what's the point? If you're being mean to yourself and like everybody hates me, and it's also like a weird like self-indulgent in the wrong way, like where it's better to be self-indulgent in the way of like kind to yourself, like, oh, I said something, but that's fine. People say dumb things, and what's the worst that's going to happen? They're not going to hold it against me. I don't hold things against people. So I feel like that's like just being nice to yourself, or, oh, I didn't get to go out tonight, but you know, tomorrow I'll work hard, or yeah. So I think that's, or like, no, I can't do certain things, or I can't, oh, right now I can't perform at that level, but that's okay. I'll get there one day. I think those type of things, just giving yourself treat yourself like a friend. If you don't celebrate like your little wins, then it's like, why are you doing? Like, you'll never be happy.
Yeah. What does it feel like to be yourself?
It's great. Yeah. Okay. Like, that's the only thing with looks too. Because I feel like here people are very into their looks, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's obviously pressure of society and stuff like that, and filters. And I think in Ireland, the crack is better than looks.
Girl, I agree. A personality and the crack is, yeah.
And a girl who's like good crack will do better than the girl who's like
10.
Yeah, and if she's not crack, you can, if you're a 10 and a crack,
You're running the world.
Yeah, exactly. But that was something like, you know, I didn't get braces. I don't mind having a gap. I like my gap. I think it makes me look young. Why would I get up at 6 a.m? I'm a comedian. I don't need to have. I can't even see my arse. So for you, it makes you feel better. Like, it doesn't make any sense. I don't see it. It doesn't need to be. I don't need to work it out. It's not part of my act. It doesn't add to my comedy. And then,
not J-Lo.
Yeah, and the same with like my teeth. When people are like, or my 5 head. When people are like, oh, you have a 5 head. It's like, okay, that has nothing to do with the jokes, and I'm fine with it. And should I get a like hair surgery so you feel better? And then if you did, you'd be like, her eyebrows are weird, her ears are weird. Like, there's always, but it's just like, I think like with looks too, just being like I like how I look, because like I look like my dad, and I love my dad, and he's great. So it's like, why would I want to change? I don't want to have the emotional labor anymore of having to like make someone feel better about them misinterpreting something I said. And I think that helps you too for stand-up, where you're kind of like, okay, the audience took it wrong. I didn't mean it like that. I'm hearing how that sounded. I didn't mean it like that. They kind of laugh, you know, because they're like, oh, of course, it's okay to piss people off, because fuck them. Do you know, why are you people pleasing everybody when they're not being nice to you in this situation? So it's okay to go, I'm done with this, and walk away. So I feel like that was like a huge self-care thing, to be like, not people pleasing everybody. I was like, oh, who do I think I am that I can fix these? Like, you know, I'm not qualified. Why am I doing this? But
Right.
I haven't let any toxic friendships in. I've been good at spotting it and like, okay, like step away, because remember, you're not a therapist, or putting in boundaries and stuff like that. And I feel really good about it. It's like, and I feel like as well, like people would latch on to me and like drain me of all my resources.
Oh, we call it energy vampires in my little world.
Yeah, so then I wouldn't have like the time for my own stuff. And then they were so negative too, and then I'm so positive because and then they'd be mean about me being positive, and I'm like, yeah, it's either that or I jump off a fucking bridge. So
yeah, like I gotta fucking be like, oh wow, it's a little gray today, but okay, we're in our own film.
Yeah, no skin cancer.
Right now, I'm the same way.
So once I like cut out those, over the years, those people who were like that, and realized,
But there's so many miserable people, and they will make you feel like the oddball because you're trying to be happy.
yeah, and you just have to just kind of go, okay, I gotta walk away from this energy, because they'll drag you down.
Stand-up finally made you feel heard.
Oh yeah, I think too. Well, because when I was younger, if I said anything, it was usually like twisted and used against me. Like I could be like, oh, this is a lovely steak, and my mother would be like, what do you mean I'm a terrible mother? And you'd be like, what do I? You just start to second guess what you said or what words mean. And then on the other side, you know, my dad, he's amazing. He's like a busy man, and we have a big family, and so, because he's so busy, you kind of have to get like sentences out very quickly. And like, he probably had to also like listen to me a lot, because I talked a lot as a child. Yeah, you're just like, people are so busy, you're running around, or yeah, I don't know, it's stand-up. It felt like you're talking and people are listening. You have the microphone, you get to say your point of view, and if you're funny with it, they're listening. So yeah, I think it just was like, yeah, the first time I really felt like heard anyway. But I like it, not to say that other people weren't listening to me. I'm sure in whatever their realities, they were like, she never fucking shut up talking. I'm at Katie Boyle Comic on everything. So just katieboylecomic.com for website, Katie Boyle Comic, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Reddit, YouTube. And yes, that's it.